Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Morgan, and today we have a very, very special guest. I am so excited about this interview. We have Molly from season 8 of Love is Blind. Welcome, Molly, to the show.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I have so many questions for you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm excited to answer them.
I don't usually write all my questions down and read them from my phone, but I don't want to miss any of these.
Yes.
So we're going to do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Number one, how are you doing post show? This was reality TV, a lot to go through. How are you doing?
For the most part, really good. Things have been a whirlwind for the past couple of weeks. So it has definitely been just a lot of stress. There's a lot going on and I'm still working full time. So it feels a little bit overwhelming. But for the most part, great. I think I just am someone that has to take social media breaks and just be like, I'm not looking at anything for the whole day. And that has helped me cope with everything. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So social media breaks.
Yes.
And
sure.
and how else are you taking care of yourself?
Honestly, just leaning on the people that know me. And when I see something, the hardest part about this is seeing comments where you feel like people don't know you or they misinterpreted something that you did. And it's hard because you want to explain yourself to everyone. So leaning on the people that do know me and know like my true heart has been helpful too. So I can kind of tune out the others.
That's so important. I love that. And having those amazing people in your life. I think hopefully today we will give you some opportunities to share your side of things and share the whole story. So I'm so excited about that. Okay, take me to being in the pods. Were you sleeping? Okay, I am big on sleep hygiene. I have to get 9 hours a night.
Okay.
Like, were you sleeping? Were you taking care of yourself? What's it like being in the pods?
Yeah. So you can sleep as much as you want. However, so every day we would get up probably leave around 8 a.m. every day. And then you could always make the choice to go back to the hotel and sleep if you wanted to. Sometimes about half the nights we had night dating. So that could go into like 2 a.m. But you didn't have to do night dating if you didn't want to. So you could go back and sleep.
Oh.
A lot of people did choose that. I did not. I was like, I'm here. I might as well stay.
You're going for it.
Yeah. So some nights you got, 4 hours, maybe less than that. But for me, I can handle things like that. You can also take breaks when you're in the lounge and take naps there. So it didn't feel like I was overtired. However, I'm sure I was.
Yeah, you were going on adrenaline.
Yes. Yeah.
And the golden goblets that we have come to love, is there a lot of drinking that happens?
Actually, no. So the golden goblets can have anything from water to energy drinks, alcohol in it. Anything we wanted to drink, we had to put in the goblets, smoothies, things like that. Just so you didn't see labels and as well as for continuity things.
Yeah.
But they actually don't pressure you to drink at all. They actually recommend if you want to find the love of your life, you should probably not be drunk the whole time. So they actually encouraged us not to drink. But of course, we're girls having fun. So we did partake in alcohol. I never got drunk when I was there, though. We would do like little breakup shots that were fun, but you're spacing them out throughout hours of the day. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the rumors that the show I
can only speak for our season, but they definitely were not encouraging us to drink.
I love
Quite
that.
the opposite. So.
I love that. Yeah, if I was there, I'd be like, water, electrolytes, let's hydrate.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this. This is a really big question, so we'll see how long we need on this one. But what do you wish people knew about you that we didn't see on the show?
Sure. So I think the first 6 episodes, obviously the storyline, they wanted to show Dave saying a lot of the same thing to Lauren and I. And she knew about me, so they showed a lot of her conversations back to him. I think I didn't have as much that they showed about my thoughts and opinions on things. So I felt like it made me look a little bit agreeable and just kind of there to agree with whatever Dave was saying to me. I definitely have opinions. I'm very opinionated, and I obviously was asking questions back and talking back to him as well. I think there was a lot of me saying yeah on camera, which was me trying to verbally show him that I was listening since he couldn't see me. And it wasn't necessarily me like agreeing with everything he said. So I think that would just be the main takeaway. But I get it. We had hours of pods. You didn't need to see any more of me talking either. So I understand why it was shown that way. But
Do you feel like this is interesting, like that you were kind of put in this role of the fun,
yep.
the fun girl, the cool girl?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. I do. I think Dave did put us in those boxes, even though we definitely had more to our personalities. Lauren and I talk about that all the time because she's like, I was also put in the very serious box. Like, she's a teacher, she's serious. And it's so funny because Lauren and I are way more similar than it made it seem, because I have that serious side as well. And she has a fun, like, loose personality as well. So we both have each sides. I think he just heard specific things and was like, teacher, serious, dancer, not serious. But and I get it. I will say I tend to lean into my unserious side more often, especially when I'm dating. And I don't know if that's, the perfect way to handle things, but I think that's the big part of my personality is I do like to have fun. I do like to, I have a lot of responsibilities in my life. So when I'm, hanging out with people or looking for a relationship, I just want to have fun, and I don't want to talk too much about serious things. Of course, that's important, but I would rather someone that I can, on the hard days I can turn to and have fun with, as opposed to like, it's always just leaning into sadness or stress.
Sure.
But,
and you want to be your authentic self.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. This is so fascinating to me, that realization that you felt like Dave had kind of put you guys in those boxes.
And I didn't realize it at the time. But
watching it back.
Watching back, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay, let's talk about this love triangle. There was a love square on the show, and then you were in the love triangle.
Yeah.
So it seemed like you genuinely did not know
no clue
that he was talking to Lauren, like that Lauren was the other person. You genuinely didn't know.
Genuinely didn't know. So actually the scene that you see me telling her about Dave, I have no memory of that. I remember talking to her about Dave later, and realizing it then. But I think that was an earlier while we were there. And I think at the beginning of the first couple days, we were all kind of talking about names because it was so, we're like, oh, we're excited early. And it's early and no one knows anything. Once it got serious, we all definitely got more close to our chest in that regards. However, when you see me talking about her, there was 2 instances that I found out about 2 other girls Dave was dating. So there was one moment that you don't see where I'm talking to Sarah, and she was saying, oh my gosh, you guys, it was so cute. This guy told me he was talking about me in his interview today. I was like, oh my gosh, someone said that to me too. And I was like, wait, it's probably the same guy, right? She was like, no, he wouldn't say the exact same thing to 2 girls back to back. And so then we were like, let's just say his name on the count of 3. So we did. So I was like, oh, so it's Dave. So she said Dave's name as well. It was actually a really funny moment. We laughed about it. And Tiara, who was also in the pods, was like, she was freaking out because she's like, I'm so uncomfortable that you guys both found out. Because this was on the closer to, engagements. And this was on a day that we went from max 4 people you could be seeing to max 3 people. So in my mind, I was like, okay, Sarah's in the top 3. And then I found out Taylor was also dating Dave because she came into the pods or into the lounge, and she was like, oh my gosh, you guys, we played a game in my last date and we ended up doing like 3 shots at the end of our date together. I'm feeling a little tipsy. So then I walk into my date and Dave goes, oh, like, forgive me. I just played a game in my last date. We did 3 shots at the end of it.
God.
So in my mind, I'm like, Taylor and Sarah. The 2 other girls that he's seeing is Taylor and Sarah. And so Lauren was not even on my radar. I didn't realize, however, that Sarah was in his top 4 because it was like I found out in the middle of when it switched from 4 to 3.
Okay.
So that was where the confusion laid.
Oh my God.
I know it's confusing to kind of try to explain the differences, but that makes a little bit more sense why I was very much like, no. And then it wasn't until the day, like Sarah did tell me the next day, like, oh, I never actually ended up seeing him. And I was like, oh, weird. So I was like, I wonder who it is then. I'm like, shoot, am I talking too loud then? Because I just was like very convinced it was Sarah and Taylor. And then that was when I started to be like, okay, chill, you might not know everything.
Yeah.
And then the following day is when I was like, okay, it has to be Lauren, because there's no one else here that it would be. And so after my date that morning, I was very much like, shoot, I think I said stuff in front of her. I feel really bad about that. But at that point, I didn't know to go and talk to her because Dave, at the end of my date, had said, I think I might end it with the next date I have. And I just felt uncomfortable. Like I shouldn't be going and talking to her about that situation when like I didn't want to say something that I shouldn't to her. But
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. This is such an example of what we see. It's just not the reality, right? There's a lot of missing pieces.
Yes. Yeah. And obviously it's hard for them to show all of that context because they'd have to show that, oh, he was dating Taylor and Sarah, and it would just be very confusing for people to understand that or see all that play out.
Yes.
And you need like 18 episodes to show all the little nuances.
For clearing that up for us.
Yes, of course.
And then another example of Dave saying the same thing to 2 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you're in this love triangle, and then there is a point where you realize that Dave has told both you and Lauren that you are his number 1. He's saying the same thing to both of you.
I actually didn't know that when I came out of my date. Here's the thing. Dave was very, he gave me a lot of affirmations throughout the whole process. So in my mind, even though he was dating other girls, I was clearly from the beginning, the one for him. I was delusional. I was very, convinced about that. So when he ended up breaking things off with me, I actually just thought he had a change of mind. And I was like, it's a crazy experience. It's totally fair of him to change his mind day of. And I actually didn't fault him for that. It wasn't until I got home from the experience and I talked to the other girls who said, no, he was telling Lauren that as well throughout the whole time, that I was like, oh, well, then I don't feel like I should have given him as much grace because, he was, telling us the same things the whole time as opposed to just changing his mind.
Yeah. And I know you and I get this. It's a difficult experience. I think it's really easy to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Just because of the premise of the show and how everything, goes. But did it impact your ability to trust him, knowing that he was saying the same thing to Lauren that he was saying to you?
You mean after I got back to the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure. I was like, I just didn't understand the point of it because I never asked him to give me those validations. And he didn't need to tell me that I was his number 1. He didn't need to tell me he thought he was going to end things with Lauren. I remember when he said that, I actually had a gut reaction that I was like, oh, I don't think he is going to end things with her.
Wow, your intuition knew.
100%. And yes. And people kept being like, no, you have to be excited. He just told you. And I was like, he told me he thinks he's going to end things. I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And I kept saying that throughout the day. And that's why you see me in the lounge talking to the girls. It was more of just me being like, I don't know why I have this gut feeling. And he didn't have to end things with either of us that day. So I was like, it's fine. I can move forward past this. I just, in my previous situations that I've had, there was a lot of false promises made to me. So it was something that I was very cautious about. And it was like, I cannot be in another situation where someone is telling me they're going to do things and they don't do it. I would rather you just keep your mouth shut. And, you can be honest and say, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I can't handle the promises and then back.
That's what I wanted to ask you. What do you think? And once again, we're saying this with love and compassion for Dave. It's a tough thing. But what do you think he could have communicated instead that would have felt like, okay, this is the truth and I can.
Yeah. And to be fair to him, I think he allows people to change his mind very easily. I think he really relies on the person he's talking to tell him how he's feeling, if that makes sense. So I think he did, when he was with me, think I was his number one. And I think when he was with Lauren, thought she was his number one.
So this was a confusing process for him.
I think he said he needs to work on it, but I just don't think he has the emotional intelligence right now to comprehend like
what he's really
feeling like long term, and maybe just take a beat and think about it before you go and say things, just because at this one moment in time you're feeling away. But
yeah. And the vibe I get from you is that if someone breaks your trust, you're done.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That is
which hey, I get.
Yes. Well, and to be honest, I have forgiven people in the past multiple times for breaking my trust.
Yeah.
When they, really come to me and apologize and I feel like they're going to move past it. Unfortunately, I've been in a lot of situations where it doesn't seem to matter after that fact. So I'm kind of working through, like, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt because I know that people can grow. I've grown a lot in my life. But also when to say, okay, you can't keep getting away with this though.
Yeah. Okay. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So the breakup happens. Yeah. Dave had a really hard time breaking up with you. Like, we're like, God. Say the words, Dave. Just say the words.
You know what? I felt so angry watching that back, as angry as I felt in the moment. Because I was, at the beginning of that breakup, I was trying to be there for him. And I understood that like I said, I understand this situation is hard. And it's fair of him to change his mind. I knew Lauren was a great girl. So it wasn't like I can't believe, you're doing this to me, because I was like, he had two great girls. Like, it's a win-win for him. But at that moment, watching it back, the switch, I remember feeling the switch when he was like, I thought I just did. And in that moment, I wanted to go off on him so bad, but I knew just like me acting like I didn't care would be worse for him. And that's why I chose just to just be like, okay, great, thanks, bye. No, that I was so angry.
It was anger.
So angry and sad that he had flipped on me like that, when I was like, I feel like you haven't said it yet. But anyways, watching it back, I also felt that again too. I was like, yeah, okay, it was how I felt.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you would have said, I'm so devastated, I really wanted this to work out? Like, that more the sad part.
I have thought about that. And because he didn't need to break up with either of us, I wondered if I would have started crying and if I would have been like, no, like, you don't understand, we're right for each other. I think he might have been like, okay, let me sleep on it at least.
Because of his difficulty with really knowing what he wanted. That
and I don't know for sure. I mean,
who knows?
Who knows? Someone should ask Dave that. But that was my thought process coming back. I was like, I think he wanted me to like beg a little.
Yeah.
But I did not want to do that.
Yeah. That was hard to watch. I remember like literally yelling at the TV, like, Dave, use your words.
Yeah. And I think it's a little bit of a pride thing for me too, so I don't know if maybe if you really do love someone, you should fight for it more. But I also was like, I just don't want to have to fight for this hard for somebody.
You want
Like,
to
you
be
should know.
chosen.
Yeah. But
I get it.
yeah.
I get it. Okay, let's go to the party.
Okay.
So Dave,
That was a night we did get drunk. I was
okay.
I think you can see that on Dave, but
He shows up. Well, the way that they filmed it looks like he shows up late.
I mean, you can't really show up late. You get told, yeah.
Oh, okay. So in my mind, I'm watching this. I'm like, all the girls are having fun, and then like Dave crashes the party. Okay, he comes in the way they make it seem. He has this very emotional conversation with Lauren.
Yeah.
And then we get to see you and him talk. And I remember just being like, okay, this is going to be good. And you stood up for Lauren in such a big way. It was like, yes, she's a girl's girl. Like, you were so direct. You said exactly what you wanted to say. How did you have the courage to do that?
Yeah. Well, it was very easy for me because when I was back, Lauren and I hadn't really had a chance to talk. She's still filming. She's very busy. And so after coming back, I really did appreciate her for how we left things. And at that point at the party, I thought that they were together and happy. I really did not know that they had broken up the previous night. I didn't know that they were having any issues throughout their relationship. So I think going into that night, I was going to ask some questions. There's some things I wanted to tell Lauren. And I also, coming back, me having heard that he was telling us the same things, when I had my last conversation with Lauren in the pods, I remember her asking me what he said, and I said, I can't. And I did tell her like a little bit, like just promises were made. And I wanted to give her the opportunity, if she wanted to know, to ask me that question again, because I was like, now I know, she should know before she gets married. However, if they've talked everything out and she's like, I trust him, we're good, I wasn't going to bring it up. So then when she was telling me everything that was going on, I got a very intense protective reaction for her. I just didn't like to see her in that situation, and it was anger again. I really was angry at him for treating her like that.
Yeah.
And so when I sat down with him, that's why it came out like that. Because I just I have a very intense protectiveness.
You
of
are
my
protective
friends,
of your
so,
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really powerful to see. And we didn't see you talking to him at all about your relationship.
No, I didn't.
And you didn't.
I didn't. No. I remember afterwards I got asked, like, did you talk about your relationship though? I was like, no, I kind of forgot about that. After Lauren told me what happened, I was like, yeah.
You know what I saw in you, and tell me if this is accurate. I just saw you weren't attracted to him anymore.
No, yeah, not at all.
I love this. You were just like, nope. And can you tell me why? I mean, I have thoughts about why, but like, why do you think that attraction just went away?
So to be honest, I think it feels very weird. The person that I met behind the wall, I have never been able to correlate that person with someone I've met in real life. That's not shade to Dave. It's just when you're not seeing someone's energy and faces, you kind of make up things. And so when I met him in person, it was completely different than the person I felt like I knew in the I mean, I was very into him. And so that switch, and I kind of saw that side of him, during the breakup when he switched that or flipped that switch. But meeting him in person, it was just such a, like, I don't know, his energy was a bit off, and I'm sure it was also because he had been going through things for the week, but it never felt like the same person to me. So it was very easy for me to feel completely cut off from him. So
yeah, that really showed. And I think all of the women watching were like, yes, go Molly. Just having Lauren's back that way. And then also you just being like, nope, I'm done here. Like, I know what my standards are. I know what I want. I know what I'm compatible with. It's not you. And you just moved on.
Yeah.
let's clear the air about something, because I think this is something that, like, everybody who watches the show, they wonder what people's motives are for going on the show.
Mhm.
Why did you go on Love is Blind?
Okay. It's kind of a funny story. Um, so I got a DM about it, and I thought it was a scam, so I didn't respond.
Damn.
And I was so the situation I talk about a lot in the pods, or I brought up a couple times in the pods, he had recently come back into my life at that time, and we were trying to work things out. I was at my friend's cabin, and her boyfriend was there asking me questions about it. And I, was like making some jokes about things that happened. And I knew probably deep down that situation was something I should move on from. However, I was like, but we're still gonna work on it. Anyways, my friend's boyfriend goes, "You need to be on a reality show, and I'm gonna get you on a reality show because you're just really funny. This whole situation needs to be done. So we're gonna push you out into a reality show." It's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. So he texted me a couple weeks after that and said, "Molly, I've talked to some of the casting directors for Love is Blind. They said that they've reached out to you already and you need to respond to them." And I was like, no, I'm really not ready to let this go. Like, I really want to see
Mm.
where, if we can finally make this work. I'm like, I would never, I mean, this was the only person I felt like I loved. Like, I was
Yeah.
so prepared to try to make it work after the 10th time. I was a little delusional for that too. But all my friends, all my family were like, just take a call. Like, because what if he messes up again? Like, you should just take the call. And I was like, I know, like, I cannot be 1 foot in and 1 foot out with him. Like, that I would be so upset if he did this to me. Anyways, I found out some things that he did, very breaking of my trust. And I just realized I cannot, like, this should have been easy this time because we didn't have a lot, like, we had worked through a lot of things. And it's like, if it cannot be easy now, it's never going to be. And if I can't trust him now, I'll never trust him. And so I sent him a text message saying, I am no longer interested in whatever this is. Like, I want to be done. And then immediately after that, I messaged the casting director back and was like, I'm ready to talk. So we talked the
Wow.
next day, and then, yeah, which might be a quick turnaround in some people's minds. However, this was something took up years of my life, and I just
Yeah.
felt like it was a final severed
You
cut.
needed to be
Yes.
fully done.
Yep. And I was like, and this is a good distraction to just like jump into something else next. Um and I was kind of just like, let me just see where it takes me. I was open to, I mean, I want to be in love. Like like that is my biggest
Yeah.
dream. I want to
You
be in
want to
love.
be
I
there.
want to
Yeah.
have a family. So I was like, what if? What if this works? But also, if it doesn't work, this is something that like most people can't say that they ever did, and it would be a really cool thing to
To go through.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think that there was a way that you were portrayed that, oh, she hasn't been in serious
mhm.
relationships and she's not really, wanting that. So,
No, I wanted serious relationships. I just wanted it to be
yeah.
with the right person and someone that I really felt like I could be with. I've dated people that I been it would have been my boyfriend if I wanted them to. It just didn't feel right. And then the people that I really wanted to make a relationship work weren't at the place in their lives to make it work with me. So, and I'm just a gut instinct type of person. And so if I'm not feeling it, if I don't want to spend all my time with you, if I don't want to like, I have a very full life. My schedule's very busy. And if I don't feel like this person's enough to change up my life and, make sacrifices to spend
Yeah.
time with, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose me and my independence.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You're a very intentional dater.
Yeah.
You're only going to give your time if you really think, yep, this is in
Yeah.
alignment.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go back because this is an interesting question. I wonder if you've thought about this. Now that you know what you know about Dave, do you think you would be compatible?
No.
Also, I just thought of this
Yeah.
question. If he had chose you, because honestly, really could have gone either way, right? If he had,
Yeah.
and then you had the reveal, and then you guys went on the vacation, Do you think you would have made it to the altar?
No.
So you also think you wouldn't have made it
Yes.
to the
I
altar?
think he would have found something else about me that he couldn't see in his life, and it would have been a similar situation to Lauren. Obviously, I don't know that to be true. I'm not putting that on him, but I think
Right.
he would have
In this hypothetical,
hypothetically, brought things up that he was concerned about. I mean, he even brought up my, situation that was 6 months prior to it, and him being like, that was too soon. He could have
were you supposed to have never
Yeah, I
dated
know.
anyone ever?
I know. I was
According to
like, so
him?
I wasn't. I never even got to be that person's boyfriend. So I'm like, or he was never my boyfriend. So I was like,
Yeah.
but 6 months was. I'm like, how long should I wait?
Oh,
A year,
Lord.
2 years? Anyways.
I talk about attachment styles.
Mhm.
And I wonder if Dave has listened to my analysis of him, but the very clear avoidant attachment
Yeah.
style, which is not his fault, but it's like how he's learned to approach, being in a relationship, and his ability to kind of shut down and then also find anything that allows him to then pull away.
Yeah.
So I think you are 100% right that whoever it had been, he would have found some way to pull away from the
And
connection.
we had a lot of conversations about that where he said he did that in the past.
Yeah.
Which is why I kept bringing that up to him.
Come see me.
It was like, you don't think you're still doing that? He would be like, no. I'm like, okay.
So you're going to do it on TV.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have more questions for you. So many. Looking back on all of this, is there anything that you wish had been portrayed differently about you in your journey?
Yeah. I think for the most part, I was portrayed true to myself. Obviously, I have many different sides. So of course I would love to have shown a more well-rounded version of myself, at least in that first 6 episodes. And there was certain things that I felt, certain conversations that I was like, oh, I didn't really remember it that way. I feel like I had a lot more to say back, but overall, I think the concept was there, and I understand why they couldn't show every single thing I said back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love that you're getting to share a little bit more about you and why you went on the show, and because I don't think that those were necessarily portrayed accurately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who on the cast are you friends with? Like who did you vibe with the most? Who are you going to be lifelong friends with?
Yeah, for sure. Well, to be honest, I'm very close to all the girls. Like there is not a single one that I don't hang out with or talk to. So I feel very lucky with that. I mean,
love
there's
that.
15 other girls that I consider friends for life. I'm definitely closest with Vanessa, Brittany, Cassandra, Madison. Yeah, but I'm close with all of them. But those are the girls I talk to the most. Yeah.
I love that. And then this is not on my approved question list, so you can decline this question.
Yeah.
There has been some talk about Monica, Joey, Sarah things going on.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from that conversation just because it's not my business to share. The only thing I'll say is I'm friends with Monica, I'm friends with Sarah. I care both about them individually as people. I love them both, and I want them both to be happy, healthy.
I love you for that answer, and I thought you might say that. I love that because you are like, no, I'm not going to involve myself in the drama. I'm just going to talk about my stuff. So I love that. I noticed you didn't say any guys that you're friends with, though. Are there guys you're friends with from the show?
Not super close with any of them. I mean, Daniel is amazing. Like Taylor and him are so sweet together. Love them. I don't talk to Daniel that much. Scott's a great guy. I talked to Brad a while in the pods. He's a great guy too. I don't get a chance to talk to them much. But yeah, I will hang out with the guys. I don't hate them.
Yes.
But
you're not real strong connections.
Yeah, like I'll see them when we go out
of course.
and whatnot, but I don't need to be besties with them. So
I love it.
yeah,
And Taylor and Daniel are the real deal.
they're the real deal. Yeah.
Their
Great.
their love story is amazing.
Yes. 100%. Yeah.
Yes. Their wedding was beyond.
Beyond so beautiful.
Yes.
And their families are amazing. Like my dad actually worked with his dad.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
we didn't know that until it
Oh
started
my
coming out.
gosh, that's
So it's just
great.
so funny. And my dad's like, oh, he really is a good guy.
I love that. That's amazing.
Everyone on the cast has like 1 degree of separation, by the way. Minnesota
Oh my
is that
God.
small.
Right? Oh my gosh. Um, okay, thinking about what you've learned about yourself on this show,
Mhm.
this was a lot of personal growth.
Yeah.
What do you think is really important to you now going into your dating life?
Mhm.
Like, what are some of your standards, things that you want in a partner?
Yeah. So I definitely want to be more conscious of the questions that I'm asking people. I've realized that I do tend to I'll ask questions and then in my mind I'm like, "Oh, that's what they mean," and I'm not
Mhm.
there needs to be deeper follow-up questions instead of assuming that they're, on the same page as me. So I've learned that about myself. I think going forward, it's just very important to me to meet someone that, honesty is really important to me because I
Yeah.
feel like I can get over anything if I have the truth, or get through anything. Um, and I'm such an honest person. Like, I'm like, if you feel a way, like, there's no shame in it's your feelings. You can't change it. So you can tell me that and we can
Yes.
talk about it. But if I don't have the honest truth, then we're just going to be stuck. So that's very important to me. I'm still working through how to get that because I think I tend to go after guys that I feel like are very honest and blunt and just say things that they probably shouldn't because in my mind I'm like that feels safe to me because they're saying a lot of things people wouldn't. Turns out those people can also lie about other things. And so I'm working through how to kind of figure out who really is being
Yeah.
honest with me. But
Yeah. I think what I'm hearing you say is using a lot of curiosity,
mhm,
follow-up questions,
yeah,
trusting and then verifying.
yep.
Very good. I love that. Okay, while we're in this kind of reflective place, if you could go back to the beginning of the show and say something to yourself before you were starting this journey, what would you want Molly
I
to
would
know?
say keep your mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut.
Honestly, I know I talk, I know I gab a lot. That is just who I am. I am the type of person that I tell my friends everything, I tell my mom everything. Like I just when I'm excited, I overshare. I know that. And that was not the environment that I should have been oversharing in. It's funny, Amanda, who was also in the pods with me, she saw that in me and she would keep being like, Molly, stop it. You can tell me everything. Stop opening your mouth in front of other people. Like, just keep it to yourself. And I was like, you're right. You're right. Thank you for that. And then when she went home, no one was checking
No
me.
one
And
was
I was like,
there.
to remind me, just like, keep your
Oh,
mouth shut. And I love her for that. When I got back and I got my phone back, I called her. I was like, Amanda, I didn't listen to you. I'm so sorry. Got me in trouble.
oh
But
my gosh.
yeah,
Well, and I think people can really see that in you, how genuine you are, and that obviously you were just sharing out of excitement
yeah,
and being expressive,
yeah.
you
Well, and
know.
we're asking each other questions. So I think a lot of the moments that you see me talking about it, people were asking me
Yes.
questions
It
and being
wasn't
like,
just
"Did he
you.
say you were his number one?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, I didn't technically come in and say that. Someone
Mm,
asked me, and then I was like,
mm,
I have to share it now. Anyways,
of course.
mhm.
I think it's a great part of your personality,
Thank you.
being that expressive. Yes. What was your favorite thing
Mhm.
about going on the show?
I mean, not to be cheesy, but obviously, like meeting all the girls, we really did have a great time together. I think I've said this in a few other places, but we got so close very quickly, and I wish
Yeah.
they would have been able to share more of our in the lounge moments because we were having a blast in there. we were also, having serious conversations and crying together in there. Like,
Mm.
there was at one point where like production was kind of like, okay, like we were like, we just love the girls. And we kept gushing about, we're so excited. We love each, like, all the girls get along so well. And they were like, okay, yeah, that's great. But like, you're here for husbands. And we're like,
Forget
they're
it.
like, I think they said, you can't marry each other. And we were all like,
We
what?
can't.
We could.
We could. Come
We
on.
wanted to. Yeah.
Totally.
But
So we need a separate show called
100.
Girls in the Lounge that can just air at the
We've been
same
begging for
time.
that. Or just like give
Yeah.
us some bloopers. We had so many. Yeah.
Fun. I love
So much
that.
fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That is such a gift.
Mhm.
Our friends are so important. I think sometimes in society, we're kind of brainwashed that your partner is everything. You got to go find your husband. But in reality, friends are such a vital part of our lives. They
Yep.
bring us so much joy and fulfillment. So that is such a gift that you had that from the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love it.
Very grateful.
Um, how has your perspective on love and relationships changed? Is love blind? Is
Yeah.
love blind?
I think it can be.
Okay.
So I definitely, one of the reasons I loved the concept so much is because for me, I really am attracted to people's personalities and like their energy that they bring. So dating apps don't work for me because when I'm just scrolling through pictures, I'm like, well, I could, like, if he makes me laugh, like I could be into this
Yeah.
guy, you know? Um, so that I think it definitely is possible that it's can be a blind. I think there's just so much more that goes into it that can change when you see a person. So it's not even just their looks, but it's just their energy, your like
How you
touch,
feel
how
in
you
their
yeah,
presence.
exactly. Like there's
Yes.
just something tangible about being with someone that's different than being behind a wall. But I think as a concept, it's like a cool one. It works out for people, Taylor and Daniel being one, other people from previous seasons. It definitely can work. It's just there's a lot more that goes into it when you meet them in person than just the looks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is a random question, but were you surprised that Taylor and Daniel were the only couple that got married? Did it seem like other couples were going to make
Yeah.
it?
I wasn't necessarily surprised, but we didn't get a lot of time with the couples after they
Right.
came back. I definitely thought that more couples would make it as far as just like dating past it. Um, and
Right.
they weren't telling us, none of the couples told any of us if they were going to say yes or no at the altar.
Is
So they
that
were
what, are
just,
you not allowed to tell people?
um, I'm not sure actually, but I think everyone just was very, they probably were encouraged, like, you don't want to keep talking about things until the day of, just because things change a lot. And I could see that being a factor.
Yeah.
Um, So, yes, I didn't know. I mean, I went to Sarah's wedding and I had absolutely no clue what they were doing, so but
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. I think that the way that they did this season, it was surprising, but
Mhm.
then once they told us after the
Yeah.
weddings, the conversations that had been had, then it all made sense.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
So it was an emotional roller coaster watching the
Mhm.
weddings because you're like, what? I thought they were going to say yes. And
Yeah.
then, but once we know, of course, it makes sense why people didn't say yes. And I think it was for the best for everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say to future people going on to Love is Blind? What would you want them to know?
Um, I would say try, if possible, to really keep yourself open for as long as possible. Dave was the only one, like, pretty quickly in my mind, and I had cut off pretty much everyone else. And even having conversations with other people felt wrong to me. I just was
Mm.
only wanted to be talking to Dave, crazy enough. And so I think I limited myself in doing that. Although I'm like, I've met these guys. I don't think it would have worked out with anyone else necessarily either, but just allowing myself to not, fully commit to just one person is probably what most people should do going forward. Just
I
keep
love
an
that.
open
So
mind.
being a little bit more open to explore and kind of taking
Yeah.
your time, being really curious.
Yep.
I always tell my clients collecting the data
Yeah.
on people. Okay. Amazing. What is next for you now? Is there anything that you're really excited about in this next chapter of
Oh
your
man.
life?
I mean, I'm just excited for, opportunities and people that I'll meet this year. I don't have anything in the works. I'm still just living my normal life, still working my 9 to 5 and um, dancing still, hanging out
I
with
love that.
friends. So it's still pretty much just normal life, but definitely open to this year and what could happen. And
I
yeah.
love that. Is dancing kind of like a form of therapy for you?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine ever not having it in my life in some form. So
What kind do you do? Like
yeah.
I went to a hip hop dance
Yeah.
class one time and I curled up in a little ball and I tried to crawl out of the room
Oh
and the
no.
instructor wouldn't let me
No.
leave.
Oh my gosh. That's well,
That's
yeah.
how I am at dancing.
Yeah,
But what kind
for
do you
sure.
do?
I've done all different kinds of dancing throughout my
Okay.
life. Seriously, every single style, hip hop, jazz, tap, Irish step dancing,
Oh my gosh.
clogging. My mom's a clogging instructor, lyrical,
Oh
contemporary.
my
I've
God.
done it all.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Right now, currently, mostly, I teach adult hip hop classes. So I do beginner classes if you're ever in
Oh
Minnesota
my
and
gosh.
want to
I'll come to
come.
yours.
I'll make it
I'll
really
stay in the back.
relaxed. Yeah.
Okay.
You can sneak out though. I won't be mad at you if you do,
Okay.
but also just stay and have fun. So that's the majority of what I do
That's
right
so
now.
cool.
Is that, but
That's amazing.
yeah,
I
take some
love it.
heels classes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So fun. What would you say to anyone who watched the show and maybe they're struggling in
Mhm.
finding their person and they're really
Me too.
frustrated? Yeah, any words of wisdom you would say?
um, I mean, for me, I think it's just don't settle. I personally would rather 100% live my life alone than be with the wrong person. And I think
Yes.
having that in mind when looking for people is important. Um, because, I have like, f- fill up your life with things that make you happy. And so it's when you find the right person, they just kind of fit in and you're happy
Yes.
to make some time for them as opposed to feeling like you're missing something. Because I never feel like I'm missing something except for I want kids and I want to have a family one day and I want to be in love, but I'm not my day to day life. I'm not like, oh, I feel lonely because I fill it up.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, don't fill up that space in your life just to fill it up.
yeah,
You have to be intentional with what
hmm
you want.
yeah,
Yeah. I know it's on its way to you.
I know. Well, I had a psychic tell me it's this year, so
I love
who knows if
that.
she's right, but she told me this
We'll
year,
follow
so
up. I
yeah.
love that.
Follow
That's
along and see if
amazing.
see if she's right. We'll see.
I'm so excited for you. I feel like, just you being in this place of, okay, you got out of that relationship that
Mhm.
was not good.
Yeah.
You had a clear, that's done. You opened your heart up to love.
Mhm.
You got amazing girlfriends in this process.
Yeah.
You learned so much about yourself and what you want. And now you're in this place where you're ready to open your heart.
Yeah.
Are you dating currently? Now that I just said that, are we ready to date? Where are you
I
at?
haven't really been I'm so bad at dating. I know okay, I know I need
I
to be
got
better.
you.
Yeah, I need to be better about, like, taking the time to meet people. I
Okay.
think as I just said, I filled up my life pretty fully
Yeah.
without someone, so for me, it's, like, really hard to even open up time to just, like, go on dates and meet people that way, so I tend to be like, "Oh, they'll find me," which is not I know is not an accurate thing that usually
Yeah.
happens. So I need to be better about that. I think I've given myself a little bit of a break. Well, really all of last year. I think um I had a lot of like I, whenever I would meet a guy that I was instantly into, they turned out to be awful people and I was like I just had a very bad streak of like this is so weird like I need to stop. I need to
Yeah.
stop
Reset.
and reset because like I said on the reunion, I was hating men last year, and it was getting to a place of me just having a preconceived, like, oh, this person's gonna be
Yes.
terrible again. And I don't hate men.
Okay, she's clearing the air.
I'm
She does not hate
I
men.
don't hate men.
Okay.
I know there's amazing men out there. I am related to so many amazing men.
Yes, you have brothers,
I have
right?
brothers,
5?
4 brothers.
4
Yep,
brothers.
4
Oh my
brothers,
God.
amazing men. I have my dad is like, I mean,
An angel.
yes, an angel. Like, he loves me very, yeah.
I met your
I
dad
know, and you
and
could
your
tell he
mom.
started crying because
He
he was
literally
just,
teared up as he's talking about how proud of you
yeah.
he is. That was so
And that is
sweet.
a constant thing that he does for me. So it's just, I
Oh,
have such amazing men to look up to. And that's probably why I have, certain standards, or, trying to find
yes.
people of a certain caliber. But I know there's amazing men out there. Last year was a really hard time for me to find any that I personally could get on the same page with. And it was more of a throwaway comment of being like, oh no, I'm like, I hate them. It wasn't super serious, but I also would like to just say, I think men out there, if you're watching, we could do a little bit better. My generation of men could step things up a bit, because I'm finding I'm not the only one having these issues. And,
Yeah.
we could, I know there's good men out there, but there's far more men that need to step up
Yeah.
how they treat people.
And for you, that looks like being honest,
Yep.
being emotionally available, being aware of issues.
Yep. Having empathy for other people, not just people you're trying to sleep with, but, other
Empathy
people.
for all.
Empathy for all is important. And that's been something that I think another reason, even men that I knew that are just friends or people dating my friends, it's like, oh, they don't care about things going on in the world right now. Like, that to me is, why are men not caring right now? Like, they should be caring more.
Mhm.
And so I think that was another reason why I'm like, "Ugh, I'm just so disappointed in men right now." But not all men. A lot of them, though.
I love that. I'm glad that we talked about
Yeah.
this because I remember that at
Mhm.
the reunion, and actually my heart kind of hurt for you in that
No, yeah.
moment. And I was like, oh, I want you to be at that place where
Mhm.
you know that there's so many amazing, emotionally available
Yeah.
guys that they would love to date you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's about finding them and
Mhm.
yeah. But I love that message
Yeah.
of like, hey, let's all grow together.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So good. How was the reunion for you showing up there? And
It
I
was
imagine
the
it's
worst day of my life.
stressful. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You look great, but
No, I was so excited to be there, and I just am not meant for that type of situation. It was like 6 or 7 hours of us
oh,
talking, and I am so proud of how the girls handled themselves. I just was sitting there so anxious the whole time and being like, "Oh my God, I don't love sitting and listening to all this right now. It's a lot." Like,
it was a
a
lot to
lot of
take in.
emotions, and I understand why. It just was a lot.
I mean, Madison pulled out
Yeah.
the stuff out of her
Yep.
armpit. I
Yep,
mean,
the
there was a lot
receipts.
going
Yeah,
on.
there was a lot, and hours more of that, you guys.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
That would not be my vibe either. I love this. I love intimate
Yeah.
conversations. So kudos to you for showing up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have shown up. So you were there.
Yes, I showed up. I didn't say much. I just was very silent until I needed to hop in and be like, "No, I
Yeah.
was there for that."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Amazing. Well, I have loved talking with you. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you would want people to know?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much asked everything.
Amazing. Amazing. How can people connect with you? I know obviously I'm going to
Yeah.
tag you in the show notes and everything, but
Yeah. I'm Molly Rose Mullaney on pretty much everything.
are you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok.
I'm
My
a-
TikToks are a little crazy.
Great.
Yeah, they show a different side of me.
So I always tell people I'm an elder millennial. Like I missed the TikTok
Mhm.
train. I'm trying to, but
Yeah.
okay. So you're on
Yeah, it's
Instagram,
a lot of like
TikTok.
dance videos and then just me acting a fool and
Amazing.
being just
Fun.
Yeah.
The
just
fun
having
side of
fun.
Molly.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
good. You need that. I love
Mhm.
that. So we'll put all that in the show notes. And of course, we want to follow you on your journey
Yeah. If
and
this is
stay
the year,
connected. I
we'll
love it.
see.
I love it. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
And I ask all my guests this, so I'm going to ask you, if you were walking down the street,
Mhm.
someone comes up to you, they want your best life advice of the
Yeah.
moment, what would you say?
Something my mom always said to me growing up was, if not now, when? And so that has always been something I've lived by. If I'm scared of doing something, or if, there's a cool opportunity, I always just think, well, if not now, when? When else am I going to do this?
Mm,
So that kind of lets me jump into things without looking back.
I love
But
it.
yeah.
That is such good advice. Shout out to your parents. We love them. I'm so
Love
glad
them.
I got to briefly
I
meet
know.
them. They're so supportive of
They
you.
are. Yeah. They're
Do you
great.
think that really helped you in this process?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would, yes. They definitely, I knew no matter what, they, would love and support
Yeah.
me. And I think they've just given me a lot of great life lessons. It was
Love
very
it.
hard not being able to call my mom to talk through
Yeah.
things. Because I do talk to her a lot on things, but
And how beautiful that you have their relationship as an example as
yeah.
well.
Yes, absolutely.
It's so
It's been
amazing.
great to look up to.
I love it. Well, I am so grateful for you and the fact that we got to make this happen.
Yes,
I
thank
feel
you.
like I
2-day
manifested
turnaround,
it.
yes.
I literally, so the whole story of this, I was on my way to New York and I had a layover at MSP and I was like, what is MSP? I usually fly through Denver
Oh my gosh,
out of
so
Montana.
funny.
So I didn't even know what
Yeah,
MSP was. I'm like, oh, it's Minneapolis. And of course, I love Love is Blind. So I'm like, I wonder if I'll see someone from Love is Blind. There I am waiting for my flight. And who do I see?
Mhm.
It's you.
So funny.
And then I had to literally psych myself up and be like, okay, go say hi. And I did.
Yeah.
And you were so warm and approachable.
Thank you.
And then we made this happen.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, I'm glad you came up and said hi. I love
Aw.
talking to you.
And I got to
honest
meet your
yes.
parents.
Yeah, I know. I love that. And I love, getting to meet so many people that just come up and say hi. Like, that is so fun for me. Like, I love talking to people I don't know and getting to know them, and it's just cool.
Molly, you are the real deal. Like sometimes, you see people on TV and then you meet them in real life and it doesn't match up. You are so the real deal.
Thank
Like
you.
you're better in person. You're a girl's girl. Everybody want to be your friend, hang out with you. You're just
Thank you.
incredible. So such an honor to have you on the show.
Such an
Thank
honor for me.
you.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yay. Okay. And everyone, of course, go follow Molly. And we are both wishing you high self-worth and great relationships. Until next time.